Okay, so today's project, we got a tiller here. It's a Cub Cadet. It's a pretty nice one. He brought it over and he said that it'll start. He started it, but it only runs for a few seconds and then it dies. He claimed that it only died when you engage the transmission, but that wasn't true. When they brought it over here, it must be getting worse. So it's pretty obvious it was a carburetor issue, because when I started it, I just left the choke on and it ran. I mean, you could tell it was struggling, but it ran and didn't die. So that tells me it's getting more air than fuel. If you got to run the choke, you're trying to restrict the air so it can get more fuel. So it's probably a dirty carburetor. Now, I've done some work on this. He wanted a complete tune-up. So I've done some work on it. I changed the oil, I've changed the fuel filter, and I drained the gas. And that was the culprit, the gas. It was pretty bad. Gas is supposed to be clear as water. And when it's yellow, it's bad gas. So he probably let it sit, clogged up the carburetor. Well, I was just going to order the parts that he wanted, because he says there's a fuel hose over here that's bad, and I was going to, he'd like to get that replaced, an air filter. And well, then when I got to looking, there is a gasket that's broke on the air filter side. So buying all those parts individually was going to cost about 20 bucks. And then of course I got to clean the carburetor. So I found a kit, a carburetor, complete aftermarket carburetor. It had the air filter, a fuel line, the gaskets. I thought, well, why not just get a new carburetor kit, put it on, and it'll save him some money, because I mean, it would just cost more, me cleaning it and then putting all those parts on. So we're gonna go ahead and get this disassembled. Now, like I said, I've drained the gas, I put a fuel filter on. So we've got several things already completed. Now, I didn't put this pin back on. I pressure washed it, and I didn't want to get water getting in it, so I just put this filter on this hose just so we could wash it, but I didn't put the clamp back on. The Swiss Army knife screwdriver bottle cap remover is really good for getting hoses off. Okay, so there's 10 millimeter down here. I'm going to try to use the impact wrench to make it quicker, but yep, that worked. I didn't know if I was going to fit. Okay, so the gas tank should be able to come off now. And there's a hose up here. And we got disconnect. This is an interesting hose up here. This is a return line for gas, so it's got a fuel pump, and it splits off from the fuel pump into the carburetor or to a return line into the gas tank. Never seen that before. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this yet, but he wanted a tune-up on it also. So I've already replaced the oil and I adjusted the valves. I did that off camera a couple days ago, because I need the Permatex to seal up. So now I think we can take the carburetor off. A nightmare to get this back on, because I got to thread all the gaskets and brackets and everything. Okay, so there's the broken gasket that I was telling you about. Now, this is kind of strange to me. How did that gasket get broke if somebody hasn't already been into this thing? So, a little concerning. So now we got... And the gasket on the back side is messed up too. That is probably, maybe not. I was gonna say that is probably why we have a have to run it on choke, but that's probably not the reason. Okay, so there's a gasket missing here. There should have been a gasket on both sides of this bracket. So this has been off before. Now he wants this hose replaced, this one here. Well, I found the other gasket. There it is right there. That should be on the back side. Genius. Wow. Okay, so what you have to do, this is what I did, not what you have to do, is you stick this little, whatever tool that is, little square head tool thing in, and I am able to pull one side while my finger's pulling the other side. It comes off that way. So I have clips or clamps or whatever you call it that are a lot easier to use for these small hoses like this. So we'll go ahead and put this on, but I'm not going to cut it yet until I have the right measurement after I have it all assembled. Oops, went too far. There we go. Okay, so I have to admit that putting on Honda carburetors is not like the most fun job you can get. It's actually pretty miserable because there's just so many things that you got to balance while you're trying to get it all together. We'll start putting it together. Okay, so here we go. This is not fun. So we got a bolt in. I'll just leave that hose off. It fell off, it's good for it. And then we got a gasket that we got to line up here. Okay, so I did a lot of it off camera. I apologize for that, but sometimes it's just easier to do things off camera. So I've just kind of pieced it all together, but the reason I turned the camera back on is I missed the gasket with the second bolt. So you got to check. And the thing you want to do is make sure you drop the bolt because you already don't have enough hands. Now we're going to put that hose on that he wanted replaced. That one's in terrible shape. So I guess it's done. So I hope I can inspire you to fix it so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.